All right. Here we go, back again on the other side of the coin. All right, welcome back to the other side of the coin, ladies and gentlemen. We are back again for another live stream, bringing you the latest in all the Chelsea news that's been happening over the last 24 hours or so. The World Cup has been so fantastic, man. Honestly, so far it's been very, very entertaining. And lots of Chelsea players are doing really well. We'll touch a little bit about that, but mostly we'll talk about, as I said, all the latest Chelsea news that's gone around, that's floating around. Got a lot of talk that's happening in regards to Christian Pulisic, not only just his injury update, but there's some contract extension update as well, which is going to be quite interesting to talk about. 18-year-old Brazilian midfielder to join Chelsea, perhaps, to continue that whole situation of trying to get the best young talents out there to join Chelsea to really secure the future so that we don't miss out on a future superstar. Pretty much, we've got all the youngsters, all the top youngsters. We're trying to bring them to Chelsea Football Club. That way we are set for the future. And Chelsea are back. They are back in training, which is going to be very, very exciting to talk about as well. I've got a cheeky comment here from Shubra. This is something that we definitely want to talk about. Super happy for Hall. Deserved the first team spot. Absolutely. I'm just going to try and bring that news up. I think it was by Felix, but someone else has that as well. Chelsea Dodgers. Try and see if I can get Chelsea Dodgers. Chelsea Dodgers is actually a very good account. If you're not following Chelsea Dodgers, I absolutely advise you to do so. So let me see if I can actually bring this up before we get going. Christian Pulisic, Andrey Santos. Yeah, Chelsea Dodgers is a very, very good account. Chelsea returned to training. Hutchinson also, yeah, here we go. That's a good one. Okay, we'll keep that on the go. All right, as I said, lots to talk about. Thank you so much for joining, ladies and gentlemen. Nearly 40 of you guys are live right now. Smash the like button. We'll try and get to 100 likes during the live stream. Quite a lot, lots of bits and pieces news, as I said, and I want to hear what you guys have to say about this as well. As always, it's always entertaining to see what you have to say in the live chat. It just creates an extra layer, actually the main layer of the conversation, to be honest. Lol Miz, first of all, thank you so much for the super chat, my man. Valan, good to see you. Lol Miz, I literally called Pulisic injury. You did. You naughty man. You naughty man, Valan. Look, but the thing about this injury is that it's not really like a muscle injury or anything like that. It was an impact injury. So, look, impact injuries can happen, right? So, it's not that I'm okay with it, but I can understand it. Muscle injuries and stuff like that, things to do with the knee and ACLs and, all of that kind of stuff, or Achilles injuries like that. Yeah, those are obviously things you can't avoid, but at the same time, you can say, yeah, okay, well, how they going to come back from that? But pelvic injury from an impact when he went to score the goal, I think he copped a boot from the goalkeeper, Iranian goalkeeper, into his pelvic area. So very, very, unlucky, to be honest. But yeah, let's get on with this. Before we talk about the injury, this is what came up late yesterday, and yeah, this is interesting, and I think there's two sides to this particular story. And once again, as I said, would love to hear what you guys have to say about this. An asking price of 35 million to sell Christian Pulisic has been mooted. As it stands, Pulisic has no desire to extend, and Todd Boehly and Behdad Egbhali have 2 windows to recoup significant value for a player who signed for 58 million. This is from Liam Toomey from The Athletic. And I think the interesting part for me in this entire tweet is Pulisic has no desire to extend. So he himself actually, because I think there's one more season left at the end of this season. So as it states here, there's 2 windows to recoup. So obviously you've got the January and you've got you've got the summer window. After that, he could potentially go on a free because next season will be his last season, and he could potentially go and do a pre-contract agreement from January, I suppose, January 2024. So, yeah, Pulisic has no desire to extend. I think he himself has made up the mind in his head that he probably doesn't want to stick around at Chelsea at the in the long run, unless obviously something changes for him in the short run. It'll be interesting to see how we utilize him post World Cup. Do we give him a bit more minutes? I personally feel like a lot of people were saying, "Oh, here we go." Some of these Chelsea fans are such flip-flops. All of a sudden, they're begging for Pulisic and Ziyech to stay. No, none of us are begging anything. All we are saying is this season specifically. We're not talking about prior seasons. This season specifically, players like Mount, Havertz, and many more, they've not really performed consistently. So I don't understand why players like Christian Pulisic, okay, forget about Ziyech for the time being, and even Ziyech, I think there is a case as well. But Pulisic, every time he's come on and he's been asked from Graham Potter to come on, he's actually done fairly well. And the fact that he hasn't had a prolonged opportunity is quite strange. That's all we're saying, that this World Cup, players like Ziyech, players like Christian Pulisic, they've really stood up. So are they going to get an opportunity after the World Cup just to continue with their confidence? Or are we going to shatter their confidence again and keep utilizing Havertz and Mount and so on and so forth and really exhaust them? Do you know what I mean? Like, they've not been playing well for a good amount of time. They've been so inconsistent. It just doesn't make sense. But Christian Pulisic, as much as we may think about, well, it's either now the time to sell or we give him a contract extension, because it's in a tricky position at the moment. Because at the end of the day, you don't want to lose out on this player on a free. There is some value. There are some suitors out there, and you can recoup some sort of money. So what do we do? What do we do? This is very, very interesting situation. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to hear from you guys. I mean, do we just look to sell him in January? Then I suppose what that means is after the World Cup, it is what it is. We just try and get rid of him. We probably won't see him too much. If not, do we use him and then see exactly what transpires? If we give him a bit of time and utilize him for a prolonged period, if he does well, fantastic. Do we then think about giving him a contract extension? I don't know. Or have we just made up the mind? You know what? Regardless, I don't care what happens. This guy's got to go. King Cobra, thank you so much for the super chat. Miz, can we expect any collaborations anytime soon? Would love for you to do a collaboration with Football Therapy personally. Football Therapy and myself, unfortunately, we don't talk. We don't get along. So that would be very, very difficult, King Cobra. Shubra saying King Cobra with a banger. Maybe King Cobra you probably know, so that you're just being cheeky. I don't know. Yeah. At King Cobra, don't violate. In case you don't know, they got beef. Yeah, exactly. Most people know what's going on. Now, I didn't realize they had prior beef. I feel bad now. It's okay. Look, I wasn't even the one who started the beef. He's the one who had issues with me because I was having a banter with England and Declan Rice, and he threatened to unfollow me on Twitter. Like that was meant to hurt me. So that was that. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, let me know. In my opinion, it's a tough one, isn't it? I think it's time for him to leave. I think it's time for him to find a new home. I think it's beneficial for him and for Chelsea Football Club to move on as well. This is his 4th season. I know he's having a very, very good World Cup, and we'll talk about the injury situation. But look, can we forget all the seasons that he's already been part of Chelsea? He doesn't seem to be completely favored by Graham Potter either. So maybe it's time to move on. Maybe it's the best. It's the best situation that he finds himself a new home, and we also find a new style of an attacker. and both sort of move on. That's just my personal view. Let's see what you guys have to say about this. Pulisic need to go. He's hardly had an impact at Chelsea. It's been almost 4 years. You're right. You're right. In fact, it has been 4 years. Ryan, good to see you, my man. The only issue I have with Pulisic is if he can stay fit consistently and his dad running his mouth. Yeah. How can we forget? How can we forget that his dad runs his mouth? It is time for many Chelsea players to leave. Yes, yes, yes. Will he stay fit? Let's talk a little bit about that. Now, in regards to Christian Pulisic and his injury, obviously, very, very nice goal, well worked out by McKennie, and then a very, very nice, headed pass from Serginho Dest, first time pass. I want to talk a little bit about Serginho Dest because I feel like that's a player that we should be trying to aim for. But this is the latest in regards to Christian Pulisic. Whilst he hit the winner for USA and taking USA to the next round in the round of 16. And congratulations to all the US fans out there. Yeah, you definitely deserve the congratulations because your team, to be honest, as a unit, you've played fairly decently. I'm not even going to lie. The USMNT confirmed Christian Pulisic has been diagnosed with a pelvic contusion. I don't know what that really means. Some were saying it's bruising following a scan, and his status is day to day. Off the back of this, few people were look at this. Someone said, "What does that mean?" And then someone replied, Twitter is undefeated, man. Twitter is undefeated. There is no doubt about that. Bruce Pelvis, I don't think he'll be ready for the weekend. He said he will be. Yes, there was an Instagram photo saying that he will be ready, but some people are saying this can take 2 weeks. Let me see if I can bring out that particular picture from Christian Pulisic, because there was a picture showing that he's saying that he's going to be fine. This is the moment, ladies and gentlemen, where he scored the goal and then he smashed into the goalkeeper. That's when he got himself hurt. Here we go. There's that. So he's saying, he said, effing proud of my guys. I'll be ready Saturday. Don't worry. That's Christian Pulisic. Let's see if he's ready. Man. But interesting indeed. So yeah, we'll get into the next news, but I hope he's ready, man. I really do hope he's ready. Valen, thank you so much for the super chat once again. Pulisic to leave Chelsea and become indestructible. You never know, man. You never know. Next club he goes, he might just be fit for a prolonged period of time. Respect for Puli, he has the balls to throw his body. Balls to throw his body around. It's not balls of steel, looks like. But you know what? Kudos to him to continue, man. That was massive desire. Like, that really was. I could not believe that he was carrying on like that. You could clearly see he was in some distress, some pain, but he kept on carrying on for his country, man. I love that. Absolutely love that. Sam, good to see you. Assalamu alaikum wa alaikum assalam, my brother. Love the guy, but time to move on. Pulisic acts like he's got the ability of Hazard Chelsea, but he's got the ability of Hazard at Madrid. I don't know why we even brought him. His stats at BVP weren't even that good, as a lot to do with the American side of things. The fact being that, marketing-wise, I suppose. So that played a massive, part of it to get that American market through Christian Pulisic. And we did. Whether you like it or not, there are some American fans, brilliant, love it, and they're very, very good. And they were there before Christian Pulisic, but then Christian Pulisic brought in some new fans, which, they call themselves the Pulisic stands, and they're not that, they're not always that nice to get along with. Shubra is saying USA and Senegal to go through last eight. Come on, yes. Would love to see Senegal beat England and would love to see USA beat Netherlands, especially England, man. I want Senegal to beat England. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, next news that's coming up is this one. According to Alexis Bernard, I wonder who this guy is. Yeah, I don't know, man. Some sort of a journalist. Chelsea have beaten PSG's project for 18-year-old Brazilian midfield talent Andrey Santos, and he will join Chelsea in January for 12 million. Now, you're probably going to ask me, Miz, who is Andrey Santos? And unfortunately, I'm going to have to answer by saying, I've got no idea. I've absolutely got no idea who this brother is. This is new to me. Someone did tag me to a YouTube video, which I haven't watched as yet. I've seen some few clips here and there. Look, I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and act like I know so much about this particular player. No, not at all. I don't know much about this particular player. But all I'm gonna say is that what it indicates is we're trying to really build something for the future. We're trying to do something for the future, something massive for the future, like players like Chukwuemeka, Gabriel Slolina, Amari Hutchinson, Lewis Hall, who we'll get to as well. We're looking at Endrick and many more we're trying to secure so that we don't miss out on any of the upcoming superstars ever again. But there's so many kids out there, man. Honestly, where do we put the stop? Who's doing these, scouting? Who's doing the number crunching? But look, great that we're doing it. You never know, man. Maybe these players will probably become the futures. Do you know what I mean? So they might just become the future superstars. And if we can get a hold of them right now, why not? But you let me know, ladies and gentlemen, do you have any idea who Andrey Santos is? Do you like the way our owners are operating in the sense that they're buying these youngsters? 12 million is no joke, man. Like 18-year-old Brazilian for 12 million. Yeah, I mean, yeah, plays for Vasco da Gama, I think. I don't know whether he plays for the senior team. I actually don't know anything about this player. So let me know. But most importantly, do you like the way Todd Boehly is moving with this incentive, this direction, I suppose? Valon, once again, thank you so much for the super chat. The amount of 8s we're getting and number 6s is baffling. Yes, lots of these midfielders we are trying to secure. So our scouts are actually doing something. Seems like they are doing something. What about the first team? Things are happening for the first team as well. Don't worry. There's some rumors about Edson Alvarez. There's talks about Caicedo. Whether they all happen in January, I don't know, but there's talks. That's for sure. Todd, no idea what you're cooking, but fair play, I guess. 100% fair play. I think channels like this deserve way more subscribers because he interacts more with his fans than any other Chelsea YouTube channel. Thank you so much, King Cobra. The reason I do this is because it creates the discussion. Do you know what I mean? You guys create the discussion. Like, I can't come here and just talk for like half an hour. Like, I need you guys to contribute in that conversation. And by doing that, I actually get to learn as well. Like, I don't know everything, and I'm here to learn as well, along with you guys. So it's fantastic. I watched his highlights. He's good. He plays like a winger, but he's an 8. Okay, fair enough. Another 8, which is great. Let's gather all Brazilian talents. Do you know what? We used to have a lot of Brazilian talents at Chelsea Football Club, and it's a good thing that we're hopefully trying to get more Brazilian players in the team. Hopefully we get Endrick. We'll see what happens with that. We're obviously trying to get a Brazilian club. We're trying to own a Brazilian club. I think once we do that, we're going to see a whole heap of Brazilians come through, young Brazilians come through, which is going to be fantastic to see, because there's some immense talent from Brazil on a regular basis. Brazil keeps churning and burning out these talents, man. King Cobra, thank you so much for the super chat. Since you've had time to reflect, Miz, over this period, do you think Potter can turn it around? Let's not forget how bad we were before the World Cup. Look, I will not forget. I will not forget how bad we are. In fact, sometimes I do want to forget because it was scarring, to be honest. Like, we had 4 losses in a row, I'm pretty certain. Like, 3 losses in a row in the Premier League. And if you put the Carabao Cup losses, that's 4 losses in a row. It's not looking good, bruv. It's not looking good at all. So I've not forgotten. Do I think Graham Potter can turn it around? He has to. I have to believe he does. Like, if I sit here and go, No, I don't think he can turn around. Well, then this manager won't last for too long. But the fact that he's got a 5-year contract or 6-year contract, whatever the case is, I have to believe that he is going to turn it around. Because if he doesn't turn it around, we're dead. We're finished. We are right now in, dangling around in dangerous position in the Premier League table. We have to start getting wins. He's got to start manufacturing wins. Now, hopefully the players after the World Cup, they can just forget about everything else. Mason Mount promised. Mason Mount said after the World Cup, they're going to fight. They're going to fight every single match and they're going to do their level best to play better and win games. Because I have to believe the World Cup was playing in their mind. It has to. It has to be playing in their mind. After the World Cup, once it's over, I hope they can all forget it and come back and start putting in the hard yards for Chelsea Football Club. I don't want any player to have hangovers from the World Cup. Like, say, for example, I don't know, if England gets knocked out in the semi-finals, I don't want the English players coming back to Chelsea Football Club feeling all sad and sorrow and whatnot. I want them to be, we got to get going again. We have to get going again. None of this, like, you remember what happened to Ben Chilwell because he didn't get used in the Euros. He came back. Thomas Tuchel said it's mentally affected him. England went all the way to the finals. They lost in the Euros and Chilwell wasn't used at all. It affected him knowing that he was just a Champions League winner like a moment before the Euros. So, yeah, no more excuses, man. No more excuses. I wanted Danilo from Palmeiras. He is proper DM, can play for first team right now itself. And Santos is not DM. He's a CM, Bellingham type. Fair enough. Liz, I want you to watch Ilman Ndiaye on the right wing for Senegal. He plays for Sheffield United currently. Serious ball. Okay, I'm going to be watching that match, Senegal versus England, because I'm going to be hoping for a England demise. So I'll watch out for that player. Royston, good to see you. Liz, remember Arsenal did the same at the beginning with Arteta by signing youngsters. Adding experience helps, so we should have a balance. Absolutely right, man. Some of these youngsters hopefully can transition into the first team, and then some of the current players, obviously they'll become experienced players, and there's got to be a good balance. We can't just influx the team with all youngsters. Absolutely agree. T1, thank you so much for the super chat, my man. Good to see you as well. Miz, I can see this season as a Mikel Arteta 8th position for us. I just hope Potter starts implementing a permanent formation and playing style. Look, if we do finish 8th, oh man, no Champions League football, man. Oof. It's not going to be easy, man. Like, can we guarantee ourselves that we're going to make the Champions League the season after? Can we really guarantee ourselves? You got teams like Newcastle coming along. You got teams like Arsenal really cementing themselves. Looks like Man City will carry on with Pep Guardiola contract extension. Liverpool are always there and thereabouts. They're not going to falter. Man United's on the way up. Spurs, we can't, it's not going to be easy to come back up. But if we do have to suffer for one season, you're right. The one thing I do want to see is a particular, implementation of a system and a playing style, man. I really do. If that's what's going to happen, then fine. But I need to see some form of progress. Absolutely need to see some form of progress. Okay, next up, ladies and gentlemen, Fabrizio Romano. Moses Caicedo is not expected to leave in January. So everyone that's hoping that we get Caicedo in January, well, apparently he's not expected to leave. This is from Fabrizio Romano, so this is no jokes. The situation is still the same. Liverpool, Man United, but also other clubs are monitoring him. So once again, there's going to be a battle for him, man. It's not just us. He's been on Manchester United's list for years. I'm sure Brighton will try to keep him at least until June. Look, I don't know whether, although it's saying that he's been on Manchester United's list for years, has Erik ten Hag been on Manchester United's list for years? No. So great that he's been on the list, but Ten Hag might not fancy him. I think Ten Hag will still go after Frankie de Jong. I really do think Ten Hag will still go after Frankie de Jong. And Frankie de Jong definitely can play as the deepest midfielder. Very different type of a deep midfielder, obviously. More on the sense of possession-based football and more attacking football. Not to say Frankie de Jong can't defend, but obviously he's not Caicedo type of a defender. But then again, I think, and this is no disrespect to Caicedo's ball-playing ability. I think his ball-playing ability is fantastic. In fact, it's very, very good. But obviously, for me, Frankie de Jong is a step above in terms of that vision from the deep. Like Caicedo doesn't have that kind of vision. Frankie de Jong's vision from deep is unbelievable. So I don't know whether Man United is really in for this particular player. I definitely see Liverpool being one of the rivals, and a lot of the Liverpool fans are starting to talk about Caicedo. You can see Grizz in Big Six consistently talking about Caicedo and how much he likes Caicedo. So yeah, Caicedo would definitely fit that Liverpool team. There's no doubt about that. So there's going to be a battle, but it ain't happening in January, apparently. I'm sure Brighton will try to keep him, as Fabrizio goes on to say, I'm sure Brighton will try to keep him at least until June. There you go. Valen, thank you so much for the super chat, my man. We mustn't forget United Liverpool new owners. Yes. Both of those clubs are looking to sell, and they're looking to sell quite immediately as well. I think all of these clubs trying to sell and move on quite quickly makes me think that whole Super League situation, because that collapsed, all of these brothers are now leaving, man. It kind of makes sense. All of these clubs wanted the Super League. They really did. They really, really did want the Super League, because that was going to yield them a lot of money. And the fact that that never happened, I think these owners are now looking to bounce, because they feel that they can't keep up with all this money, man. They can't keep buying all these players. And there are lots of other rich owners out there who are willing to buy this football club. So, yeah, interesting times, man. You never know what can happen once new owners come in, new targets. Who knows? By the way, Man United didn't sign Caicedo for 4.5 million when they easily could. Yeah, man, Brighton doing madness. Brighton's looking for a particular striker at the moment from somewhere. I'm pretty sure that striker is going to end up being in a top club in a couple of seasons' time. Can Chelsea go for Enzo Fernandez? I think will solve the midfield problem. Yes, it will definitely solve some part of the midfield problem. But Enzo Fernandez, every man and dog out there is going to go after Enzo Fernandez. Chelsea, I don't know, man. It's going to be a battle, man. There's a release clause, and it's going to be a battle. I think Benfica's already slapped a very large price on it. Real Madrid apparently looking at him, so it's not going to be easy. All right, next up, ladies and gentlemen, all the players are going after it. Will be a battle with other teams, so no transfer will be easy. Exactly right. Guys, I wanted to talk to you about Serginho Dest. I spoke about this particular player in the summer window, saying that I would have taken him. Azpilicueta to Barcelona, Serginho Dest to Chelsea, a backup for Reece James, young, I think 20, 21, 22-year-old, would have been perfect. You know, he could learn from Reece James in terms of that defensive side of things. He can play on the left side. He can play on the right side. There's a lot to like about Serginho Dest. And this World Cup, Serginho Dest, every single match, I've watched all 3 matches of USA. He's not put a foot wrong. He really has not put a foot wrong. Defensively, all the people that are a bit worried that Serginho Dest could be a defensive, liability. Defensively, he's been rock solid against England, against Iran, against Wales. But against Iran, Iran wasn't that bad. And of course, England, with all the talent that they have. And going forward as well, Serginho Dest has been fine. I would seriously contemplate this particular player as a backup to Reece James. I really would. He's young, US background. So Todd Boehly, if you want some sort of a US contingency, Serginho Dest, why not? This is what he did against Iran. 74 touches, 7 ball recoveries. These are good stats, man. Honestly, these are good stats. 6 final third entries, 4 duels won, 4 clearances, 2 shots, 1 interception, 1 assist. These are actually proper good stats, man. They really are. It really is very, very good stats. So one to think about, man. Honestly, Serginho Dest, I tweeted this out straight, I think at halftime. I was very, very impressed by him. Adams will play the Kanye role at Chelsea. I wouldn't mind Adams either. I think he's a fantastic player. Milan fans hate Dest. Yeah, he's on loan in Milan at the moment. If we can perhaps talk to Barcelona again, get him to cancel out his loan from Milan and bring him to Chelsea Football Club. Why not? Dest has been poor for Milan, but I still want him. Look, I mean, sometimes the environment matters, man. Like, you can see there is a good player in him. Now, he's been poor for Milan. Who knows why? The reason is, at the end of the day, the mental part of the footballer is very important. He might just not settle at in Italy. Maybe it might be more feasible for him in London. Who knows? I don't know. But there is a player in him. There is a player in him. I take him now. Dest is a brilliant backup. Chelsea must do it. I think as a backup, why not? And I don't think he would even mind being a backup and someone who can grow into it. And if anything, if God forbid, like Reece James, I hope he doesn't get injured anymore. But if he does continue to get injured, he's a decent backup, man. He was awful for AC Milan. Yeah, he was, but come on, man. It's just World Cup, Miz. I get it, but I'm not talking about World Cup. Like, I like this player before the World Cup as well. So this isn't just purely based on World Cup. Obviously, the World Cup performances are helping, showing us what this player is capable of doing. But I wanted this player in last summer. So, yeah, this isn't just World Cup hype at all. Miz, are we watching the same Dest? Wow, some of you guys don't like Dest. I see. Frimpong is the one. Okay, fair enough. Frimpong is also well touted. He's the one who we're linked with. Dest is not someone we're linked with. But I'm just saying that Dest is pretty decent. We let go of one American to get another one. Our owners are American, man. Owners are American. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, next up, this is Chelsea are back. We have been waiting for our players to come back. They're back in training. I believe they're going to be leaving for UAE very, very soon. Maybe even today. I don't know. I'll have to check out the latest. Let me know, live chat, when they're leaving for UAE. Could be for today. I'm not really sure. But they're back in training. Yesterday they were back. As you can see, picture of Jorginho, Aubameyang. You've got Chalobah. You've got Lewis Hall. Good news about Lewis Hall, ladies and gentlemen. Chelsea returned to training at Cobham today, and I'm told majority of the under-21 squad joined in with training, including Hutchinson and Webster. So a lot of the under-21s are part of the first team. However, also told Lewis Hall is now a fully fledged first teamer. He has moved from the academy building to the first team. This is huge news. Kudos to Lewis Hall. Congratulations. That's a big time promotion. I like this, man. I really do. Finally, after the batch of Mount and Reece James and so on and so forth, someone's really been able to crack into the first team from our academy. Obviously, Chalobah is from the academy, but he had loan spells elsewhere. Amanda Broa as well had loan spells. Good to see Lewis Hall straight from the academy to the first team. I think he will add value. If we continue with the back three, perhaps he'll continue as a left wing back. And he's an attacking left wing back. And I like to see him play more. He's got that, freeness about him, carefree attitude, really attacks the box. Obviously needs to polish on quite a few things, shooting technique. But, he's got the capability to dribble. He's got a lot of pace. Obviously he'll bulk up a little bit more and he'll get physical a little bit more, no doubts about that. But very, very good, promotion, man. And this hopefully is yet another foundation for up and coming, academy players to look forward to that. This isn't a foregone conclusion. Like, you can make it to the first team if you're good enough. And Lewis Hall is definitely good enough. Now, what does it mean for players like Cucurella and Chilwell and also Ian Martin? Ian Martin is someone, he's turning out to be an absolute superstar. He's one of Burnley's most important players. I wouldn't want him to go. I want him to stay. Lewis Hall, at the end of the day, I think can play in midfield. I think that's where his position is, really. It's in midfield. So it'll be interesting to see what type of a player Lewis Hall turns out to be, whether he continues being a wing-back, whether he starts playing as a number 8. We'll see. But great news, nonetheless. Let's see what you guys have to say about this. Trooper saying deserves it. T-Bag, good to see you. Damn, Hall is going to become our left side Reece. Yeah, why not, man? Zayn, congratulations to Lewis. He deserves it. He won. I just want to see Chuku and Hutchinson get into first team. Hutchinson is one I'm really keen to see, man. Really, really keen to see that. Hopefully he breaks in proper and actually makes himself a position in the first team. Are there any friendly matches during this break? Yes, I think there's one against Aston Villa in UAE, in Dubai, I think. So 11 January maybe. 11 December. Des would be better convert to the wing defensively. His all form is fair enough. I thought in this World Cup he was quite decent. I know prior to the World Cup, when he was in Barcelona, defensively he wasn't that great, but it's not like he was useless either. He's 21. Like, there's a lot of room to develop. What do you think of Preciado, Ecuador, as a backup for Reece James? He's been very good attacking and defensively. To be honest, I haven't seen this particular, but I haven't been able to watch enough Ecuador players. But a couple of Ecuador players are getting talked about. They've got a particular defender that apparently we are scouting, and also Plato. I think that's the other player that people are talking about. So Ecuador, they've got a few good players that the world is looking at. I wish we had a budding youngster on the right side. Yep, absolutely agreed. So happy for Lewis Hall, well deserved. I'm excited about Cesar, Casady, Hutchinson, and Webster too. Yeah, Casady, that's one to look out for, man. Honestly, all these players that can play number 8, but none can play number 6. Yeah, it's crazy, huh? Like, the art of number 6, what's going on? What is going on? Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to wrap things up. Hope you guys have enjoyed this. Only got 35 likes. That's disappointing, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know what's going on. Lately, the likes have really, really dried out. I don't know. Maybe you guys don't like the content. Maybe you guys want something else. But if you do, if you have enjoyed this, smash the like button, guys. I've said this many a times, man. I can't stress how much the growth of the channel depends on the likes, man. It honestly does. The more the likes, the more the channel will grow. The less the likes, the less it gets recommended, and the less it doesn't grow. And if you really think that this channel deserves to be up there, the likes, man. The likes are got to kick in, man. So yeah, nearly 150 of you guys are here, 53 likes. If we can get to 100 likes, that'd be much appreciated. Hope you guys have enjoyed this. I'll be back again after the World Cup matches. Might actually do a live so that because there's exactly I think these are the two players that from the Ecuador team that people are looking at, Hinkepia and Plata. But yeah, I might do a live after the World Cup matches. There's some interesting matches, man. Obviously Australia's on, so I'm not going to be able to watch that. That's insane hours. But the 2 in the morning, which is my time, the late ones, definitely will watch that. Big matches, Saudi Arabia versus Mexico, Argentina versus Poland. Any permutation, any kind of result could create chaos over there in that group. Everyone's sort of up to go through. So post those matches, I'll go live and I'll catch you guys then. Until next time, everyone, take care. See ya.